Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today is the 18th of September 2019. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so also, just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course, our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which you can always also check on a daily basis, and I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here, so feel free to visit us here. But right now, guys, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the FTSE100. Now, it didn't have a quite good day yesterday. It traveled lower, but it failed to drive below this little short-term tentative upside line here taken from the low of the 28th of August. So it got held here and it drifted back up and ended up the day around the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. So for now, we're going to be somewhat cautiously bullish, I would say, because even though, yes, it is good news that the upside line held the price from moving lower, but what we will be looking at right now is we need to see a push above this level right here near the 7,380 zone, which is the high of last week. So this way, the index would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could target areas like the 7,476, 77 zone, or even above that. But again, for now, before examining higher levels, we need to see a nice good push above this one right here near the 7,380 zone. So keep your eyes on this one. In terms of the downside, well, it's also pretty straightforward. Not only that we need to see a break of this upside line, but also just ideally we would like to see maybe a drop below the 7,284 zone. This is basically the high of the 6th of September. You can see that on the 9th of September, the index was not able to close above that level as well. So previously it acted as a fantastic area of resistance. Now it could take the role of support. So but if this support gets broken, then yep, this could lead towards further declines. And also, as you can see, this level here coincides with the 50 and the 100 EMAs here. So also a nice good drop below those could, in a way, trigger some more selling. So for now, keep your eyes on these two levels. Let me just quickly mark this one, drag the highlighter here. So this is what we're going to be looking at the downside, and wait for a clear break, and then we could examine a further directional move. WTI oil. So of course all the kind of the news are surrounding oil right now, and I mean it was quite interesting yesterday. So the Saudis said that they're gonna they've managed to restore some of the supply of oil. So basically we saw this nice hit here on WTI oil. And in general in oil, and Brent oil also slid down. But what's interesting here from the technical side is the fact that when it slid lower, it found very good support here. It found good support near this 58.80 zone, which is the high of the 31st of July. So what we're going to do here is now, of course, we're going to really focus on this level because that's going to be quite interesting to see if this area could continue to hold. If it does, then we could see another push higher, possibly moving towards the highs that we saw here recently. So for now, probably the suggestion here is to remain cautious. If we see a drop below this 58.80 zone, then, well, I mean, there could be a chance for this one, for WTI oil to drift towards one of its upside lines here. A bit of a tentative one, but nevertheless, we're going to put this one on the chart just to have it there. And this one, this is what I'm talking about. So, and if you're looking for a certain particular level around here, this one could be a nice one to watch. So the 56.33 zone, 30 approximately around there, could be a nice target, initial target. But then another possible level to watch is, let me just quickly show you that one, this little area right here. So and that's approximately around the 55.60 zone. So also could be a nice potential target, but we will examine all of these levels if we see a nice good drop below the this level here, the 58.8 the 58.80 zone, and only then we will examine, like I said, further declines. In terms of the upside here, well, I mean, I had a level previously here near the 60.90 level, approximately around there. So in a way, we could keep it here. That was the high of the 15th of July. So if we see a nice good push back above the 60.90, this could increase the chances for WTI to push a little bit higher here again, maybe towards the highs of this week near the 63.30 zone, 35 area. But if this fails to withhold, now this is where the commodity would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could see this one drifting further north. But again, like I said, for now, this is going to be mainly driven by the news. We'll continue monitoring the developments in Saudi Arabia and its kind of production levels. So if the reports will be coming out saying that they're fully running fully back 100%, so then we could see oil kind of sliding back down here towards this upside line. But if there are some issues, some sort of headlines referring to that Saudi Arabia is struggling again, then we could see oil jumping and pushing towards the highs of this week. So keep your eyes on this one, keep your eyes on the news. Let's see how this is going to play out. Ethereum, very quick mentioning of Ethereum. I'm not going to talk too much on it, but yesterday in my Traders Tea Time I talked about this one, and basically I was saying that if we get a hold up near the 204 zone, we may see this one drifting back down, curving like this, and then maybe pushing to the upside again later. But as you can see, the 204 zone failed to withhold, and we saw a nice pop here to the upside, and it almost managed to reach one of our targets here near the 216.17 area, approximately around there. And for now, what could happen here, of course, we may see a further move higher. If this level holds now, this is when we could consider a possible correction, maybe back down here initially towards the 204 zone, and then we'll take it from there, see if it holds. We could see this one curving up like this and pushing to the upside. But if the 217 zone fails to withhold, now we need to search for another potential area of resistance, and one of the areas could be around here, around this little peak here that we had on the 7th of August, and that's around the 231 zone, approximately around there. And slightly above that, of course, we have the peak of the peak of August, which is around the 239, or in a way you could round it up towards the 240 zone. So for now, basically what you could do here is keep an eye on this 216.17 area. If it holds, we could see this one curving back down here. and then we could maybe test the 204 zone again. But if the 204 zone fails to withhold, then we could see this one sliding towards this upside line that I've mentioned yesterday in my video. But if, like I said, for now, it's looking quite strong. But like, let's see how it performs around here, around this 216.17 zone. If it gets a nice break here, then yep, we'll continue aiming higher. But if it gets a hold up, then we could see a bit of a correction here. GBPCHF, I talked about this one, and this is what I talked about in my Traders Tea Time. I talked about this potential breakout point here at 1.2383. It did have a nice pop here. It moved higher. And now, of course, this increases the chances for a further move north. The only thing that you need to kind of keep in mind is today's data, guys. So we do have the British inflation numbers, and also the British PPI output numbers. So be very careful with that, and we could see a bit of increased volatility here. So in a way, what you could do here is, technically for now, we will be aiming higher. We can see that the pair is also trading, and let me just quickly put this one on the chart. Trading above this little kind of tentative upside line here, a short-term one taken from the low of the 3rd of September, and we could see this one drifting. No, not this one, not this line. This one right here. We could see this one drifting a little bit higher here, potentially aiming for the 1.2450 area, or even the 1.2495 zone. So for now, guys, let's see if it actually can do that. But if it suddenly starts dropping lower and it starts breaking this upside line here, then be careful, and then we could consider a possible correction here. At least a short-term move kind of lower, and especially if it drops back below the 1.23 level here, approximately around there, and we could see this one drifting a little bit lower. So again, for now, some of the levels to watch out for. There are some good potential targets, good potential scenarios, and for now, like I said, these are the two levels that we're going to be keeping a close eye on for today, and we'll see how this is going to play out. But again, like I said, for now, we are more bullish than bearish, especially given this technical picture right now. And let's see if it actually can continue traveling higher. Let's see if the economic data and British economic data comes out well, which could in a way support the British pound. So USDJPY. USDJPY, also I talked about this one. We're still waiting for a pop above this area here, this resistance level area. So we are gonna stay put for now, and continue monitoring the 108.39 zone, as this is going to be that breakout point which would confirm forthcoming higher high, and where we could then target areas like the 108.95 or even the 109.32 zone, so which is the high of 31st of July. So keep your eyes on this one. In terms of the downside, the same scenario remains. We need to see a drop below this, not only below this upside line, but also below the 107.50 before examining lower areas. And the last pair for this session, that's going to be Euro USD. I talked about this one yesterday, and basically what I was saying, that if we suddenly see a push back above the 1.1024 zone, then there is a good chance we could see this one climbing back up here towards the 1.1085, which it almost managed to reach yesterday, and we could see maybe even a test of this downside line. Again, this downside line is taken from the high of June here this year, so we're not far from it. Currently, as you can see, the pair is flagging out a little bit, especially that's probably visible on the 1-hour chart. So keep your eyes on this one. Let's see if the euro can get a boost here today, and we could see a test of this downside line. if, let's say, the boost happens to be quite a significant one, and we see a break of this downside line here, then what we're going to be aiming for is, in order to, let's say, consider much higher levels in the near term, we will probably wait for a clear break above this high of the 13th of September, the high of last week, at 1.1110 zone. So a nice good pop above this could open the door towards higher levels. So that's why, guys, for now, the short-term picture is, of course, we may see maybe this one drifting a little bit lower, maybe even actually going back down towards the pivot, towards today's pivot, which is around the 1.1045 zone and 45, 46, something like that. So we could see this one curving up down a little bit more, testing this pivot and then reversing and pushing to the upside. But again, that's one of the scenarios. If this decides not to drift lower, but decides to push straight away above the highs, the recent highs, the yesterday's highs near the 1.1075 zone here, then yep, we will aim for this downside line and then we'll take it from there. Because if it travels here towards this downside line, well, to be honest, might as well already break this line. So for now, be very careful with this one. It's quite interesting. And in terms of the downside, now what we're going to be looking at here is the 1.1024. A nice good drop below this could open the door again towards lower areas. Initially, we will target this area near the 1.0983, and then we'll take it from there. See what he wants to do after. It may get another hold up here, but if this time it gets broken, then yep, this could move down again here. So let's see how this is going to play out. And but for now, it could be quite interesting for the bulls. So keep your eyes on this one. Okay, guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching until the end. If you want to join me later on at my traders tea time, as always, that's 13:15 GMT. We'll have a look at at some of these pairs, maybe some additional ones, just to see how the data, especially the bridge data, has impacted the pound, and we'll see how everything got along. Maybe we'll get some sort of new political news as well. So yeah, be very careful with this, guys, today. And like I said, please join me later on at my traders tea time, 13:15 GMT. For now, I hope you have a beautiful trading day, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye bye.